So previously I told that the injury of the radial nerve, injury of the mid septum of the humerus causing the injury of the radial nerve. Okay, so here I told the course of the radial nerve. Here I told the beat mnemonic. Okay, the muscles those who are directly supplied by radial nerve, there is your brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis longus, anconeus and triceps. Okay, so these muscles are here, but one thing I wrongly mentioned here, that this is not the brachioradialis. Okay, here this is your actually brachialis only, brachialis. Okay, your brachialis is a hybrid muscles. Okay, this is not brachioradialis. Brachialis, this is hybrid muscles. Okay, in season 1 I wrongly mentioned this thing, that this is brachioradialis, not brachioradialis. This is your brachialis. This is a hybrid muscle which is supplied by both radial nerve and musculocutaneous nerve, and your brachioradialis is only supplied by your radial nerve. Okay, so let's once again revise the whole course of the radial nerve schematically. Here you can see, the this is the actually, this is, what is this is actually, you can see the humerus. Okay, this is actually the humerus. Okay, and this is actually the humerus, and you can see this radial nerve coming from the, this radial nerve is coming from the posterior cord of the brachial plexus, coming from the posterior cord of the brachial plexus, and in axillary region this radial nerve giving one branch to triceps. Triceps, it has 3 head. Tricep has 3 heads. Okay, one medial head, one lateral head and one long head. Radial nerve, which is coming from the posterior cord of the brachial plexus, is first at the axillary region, supplies directly the medial head and the long head of the triceps, the medial head and the long head of the triceps. Then at the spiral groove of the humerus, posterior aspect of the humerus, then at the spiral groove, your radial nerve supplying one lateral head of the triceps, one branch of radial nerve supplying your lateral head of the triceps, and another branch is supplying your medial head of the triceps. Once again, so medial head of the triceps is supplied two times by radial nerve. Okay, at once during at the branch coming from the axillary region and one coming from the spiral groove region. Okay, the branch which is supplying the medial head of the triceps is then further extends and supplying your small muscles anconeus. This is your anconeus. I told that anconeus is nothing but the detached part of the medial head of the triceps. During evolution, anconeus is detached from the medial head of the triceps. Okay, so these muscles, this anconeus helps the triceps. These are the synergistic muscles. Actually, they are collectively they causing the extension of the elbow joint. This is anconeus. Okay. Then after the spiral groove, radial nerves enter anteriorly, passing the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, passing the lateral epicondyle. This is the lateral epicondyle, you can see here, and this is the medial epicondyle, you can see here, medial epicondyle. Okay, so here you can see this radial nerve passing anterior to the lateral epicondyle and entering into the cubital fossa of elbow, and then this radial nerve is dividing into one superficial branch, this one, the superficial branch which is running through the roof of the anatomical nerve box, and another deep branch. This deep branch is passing in between the two heads of the supinator, pierces the supinator muscles and goes into the extensor compartment of the forearm and supplies all the extensor muscles. That's why radial nerve is called your nerve of the extensor group. Okay, deep branch is also called your posterior interossei nerve. Okay, so this is the actually course of the radial nerve. So here you can see, before passing through the lateral epicondyle, in front of the lateral epicondyle and entering the cubital fossa, your radial nerve giving supply to brachialis muscle, brachioradialis muscle and extensor carpi radialis longus muscle. So extensor carpi radialis longus muscle is directly supplied by your radial nerve. Other extensor, they are supplied by the branch of the radial nerve, the posterior interosseous nerve, deep branch of the radial nerve. Okay, so this brachioradialis, this branch of the radial nerve to brachioradialis, this brachioradialis is not an extensor. This is actually a flexor muscles. This brachioradialis, the branch going of radial nerve going to the brachialis, going to the brachialis, is not motor nerve according to some authors. This is the proprioceptive supply. Proprioceptive supply means the information coming from the musculoskeletal organs or musculoskeletal structures, the proprioceptions. Okay, so this is about brachialis, and brachialis is also a hybrid muscles supplying by both radial nerve and musculocutaneous nerve, but brachioradialis is only supplied by radial nerve here. Okay, so this is the course of the radial nerve. So now let's talk about the fracture of the radial nerve. Okay, fracture at various region of the radial nerve. So first fracture at this point, at this point A, I am marking A. Okay, then fracture at this point, I am marking B. Then fracture at this point. Okay, or this point, I am marking C, both two. And then fracture at this level, I am marking D. A, B, C, D. Fracture of the radial nerve or injury of the radial nerve at very high level, at the axilla level. This is due to the this is also called the crutch palsy. Okay, fracture at the spiral group of the humerus. Okay, then fracture at the lateral epicondyle level. Okay, or supracondylar level, or something called cubital fossa. Radial nerve is injured at the cubital fossa. And D is the fracture at the deep branch of the radial nerve or very lower level injury, deep branch of the radial nerve. These four fractures or these four scenario are there. Actually, you can see these questions also here. Fracture of the mid sept of the humerus, that means that at the spiral group level, this is our fracture B. Okay, you can see this. Following a street accident, a young man develops fracture of the mid sept of the humerus. Okay, so mid sept of the humerus, it has the spiral groove. Okay, and this spiral groove, radial nerve is passing through the spiral groove. Okay, discuss the distribution of the nerve related to this and that part of the bone while it passes through the arm. Okay, add a note on lesion as it passes through the spiral groove of the bone. Okay, so this is also our case B, fracture of the mid sept of the humerus, injury of the radial nerve at the spiral groove level. Okay, you can see another question. This question was asked by our university 2008. Okay, you can see this injury to the radial nerve. This directly says radial nerve in the cubital fossa will not cause wrist drop. Explain why. Okay, this is also our previous year's question, university question. Okay, this is your case C, case scenario C. Okay, this is case scenario C. So here you can see three things. Fracture at the axilla, also called your crutch palsy injury. B at the spiral groove level, also this is also called Saturday night palsy. Okay, then you can see either at the lateral epicondyle level or at the cubital fossa level, your radial nerve is injured. This is case scenario C. And you can see also deep branch injury, case scenario D. Now let's talk about the A. So one rule just I want to mention, or I want to tell you that injury at level A, okay, then the portion or the muscle paralyzed distal to the injured area, all the muscles are paralyzed, all the muscles are not working. Those muscles, those are located distal to our injured area. If injury at A level, okay, then everything the distal to this A are not working. If injury at B level, proximal to B, these muscles are working, but Distal to B, these muscles further supply, these are not working, paralyzed, these muscles. Similarly, if injury at the D level, all the proximal area, all the proximal nerve, the course, all the proximal course of the nerve is remains same, working, okay, spared, all the muscles are spared here. But distal to D, okay, that means the extensor muscles, they are not working now. Now let's talk about this thing. You can see this image here. Your radial nerve is supplying those muscles, those extensor muscles. Your radial nerve is supplying those extensor muscles, those who are controlling the movement of three joints. One, it's your elbow joint. One, it is your wrist joint. Another one, it is your finger joint. Okay, finger joint of upper limb. So radial nerve supplying those extensor muscles, those are controlling the extension of the elbow, extension of the wrist, extension of the finger joint. Okay, here you can see this is extension of the elbow joint. Okay, so you can see also there is the wrist joint and the finger joint. In the finger joint there is metacarpophalangeus joint and there is also interphalangeus joint. Okay, your metacarpophalangeus joint muscles, those are controlling the flexion movement of the metacarpophalangeus joint. It is only supplied by your radial nerve. But muscles, those who are supplying or controlling the action of the interphalangeus joint, the extension of the interphalangeus joint, these muscles are not only supplied by radial nerve, they are also supplied by your median nerve and ulnar nerve, like your lumbricals, interossei muscles. Okay, those are the extension or causing the extension of interphalangeus joint. Okay, they are not only, they are supplied by your median nerve and ulnar nerve also. Okay, so any injury to radial nerve, is not affecting any injury of radial nerve is not affecting your interphalangeus joint. Any injury of your radial nerve is not affecting this joint. Why? Because there is also other muscles, those who are survive. Okay, that means the lumbricals, interossei, those muscles are spared and these muscles are supplied by median nerve, ulnar nerve. Okay, these nerves are not injured. That's why the extensor movement of the interphalangeus joint is not affecting due to the radial nerve injury. Okay, so the major three joints, those are affected by the injury of the radial nerve is your elbow joint, it's your wrist joint, it's your finger joint. Which finger joint? This is your metacarpophalangeus joint, MCP joint only. Okay, now let's talk about a column. In this column, yes, here I am writing the injury level. Here I am writing the where the injury is occurs, or the level of injury. Okay, and radial nerve is controlling the major three joints, those affecting due to injury of the radial nerve. One is your elbow joint, one is your wrist joint, and last one is your MCP joint, and not interphalangeus joint. Why? Because interphalangeus joint is also supplied by your median nerve, ulnar nerve, lumbricals, interossei muscles. Those are controlling the action of the interphalangeus joint or IP joint. Okay, so injury at the level of A, that means crutch palsy. Here you can see injury at the level of A, higher level radial nerve injury, which is also called the cause due to crutch palsy. Okay, this is radial nerve injury at the axilla. This is crutch palsy. Radial nerve injury at the axilla level. Okay, if radial nerve is injured at this level, now let's concentrate here. If radial nerve is injured at this level, then nerve distal to this injured area, everything is gone here. Okay, so the triceps gone. Okay, anconeus gone, extension carpi radialis longus gone, all the extensor muscles everything is gone. Okay, and the superficial branch is also not working, or this is also gone. Now what happens? No extension at the elbow. No extension at the elbow. Why? Because all the extensor muscles are now paralyzed due to higher level radial nerve injury at the axilla. This is also called the higher level radial nerve injury. And what happens to the wrist extension of the wrist? The extension of the wrist, no extension. Why? Because wrist, mainly the extension of the wrist, you can see I am writing in this diagram. Yes, this is the extension of the wrist. Here you can see this is the extension of the wrist, this kind of movement. Okay, actually extension of the wrist is mainly controlled by three muscles. The extensor carpi radialis longus, extension carpi radialis brevis, extension carpi ulnaris. These three muscles. Carpi, see carpi, extension carpi, I am writing carpi. Carpi mean your wrist. Okay, if these muscles are paralyzed, if radial nerve is not supplying these three muscles, then what happens? No extension at the wrist joint level. Okay, so here you can see, if injury at the level of A, you can see here injury at the level of A, then what happens? Injury at the level of A, then what happens? Extension carpi radialis longus is paralyzed, radial nerve is not supplying. Okay, because it's gone, and other all extensor muscles, they are also gone. So there is no wrist extension. And you can see extensor digitorum muscles. Okay, extensor digitum. Okay, these muscles, extensor digitorum muscles, this is actually the causing the extension at the MCP joint. This is also paralyzed. Okay, so no MCP joint extension. Okay, so no extension at any level. At higher level, this is due to the crutch palsy. Now case scenario B. Case scenario B, this is the radial nerve injury at the due to the fracture at the mid shaft of the humerus. This is due to the fracture of the mid shaft of the humerus. Okay, mid shaft of the humerus fracture due to the mid shaft of the humerus, and injury at this level causing what? Injury at this level causing the radial nerve injury. Okay, so B. Now the proximal to the injured portion, radial nerve which is proximal to the injured portion, it remains intact. Okay, so the triceps, medial head and long head of the triceps is working. Okay, lateral head of the triceps is not working now, and you can see medial head of the triceps, which is one supply is coming from the spiral groove, may or may not working, anconeus may or may not working. It depends where, at which level of the spiral groove your injury occurs. If injury occurs at this level, then both lateral head is not working, this is also not working. Okay, now if injury at this B level, distal muscles, the muscles which are located in the distal pathway of the radial nerve. Okay, the injured, this is the injured area, and this pathway which is distal to this injured area, the muscles distal to this injured area are now paralyzed. Okay, so now if ECRL is paralyzed, then no wrist extension. If all the extensor muscles of the posterior compartment hand is paralyzed, then no wrist extensor further. Extensor digiti, these muscles if paralyzed, then what happens? No MCP joint extension, but triceps is now spared. Tricep is not paralyzed because injury at the level of B. So triceps is supplied by radial nerve at axillary level already. So there is weak extension due to the medial and long head of the triceps is spared. Okay, so here I am writing B, also called Saturday night palsy. Okay, so in Saturday night palsy, your triceps, medial head and the long head of the triceps is supplied by radial nerve. Okay, so there is no weak extension. There is weak extension at the elbow joint, and wrist no extension. No extension. Why? Because your extensor carpi radialis longus is not supplied by radial nerve. Now your extensor carpi radialis brevis is also paralyzed. Extensor carpi ulnaris is also paralyzed. Okay, so no extension at the wrist joint, and also no extension at the MCP joint, because your extensor digitory muscle is also paralyzed here. Okay. So this is case 1 and this is case 2. Now let's talk about the case 3. Okay, so this is actually our first question which I discussed. It was this question, that the injury of the fracture of the mid shaft of the humerus causes wrist drop. Why wrist drop? Now explain why wrist drop. Yes, fracture of the mid shaft of the humerus causes radial nerve injury, and causing this radial nerve is not supplying any extensor muscle. Okay, that's why there is wrist drop. No extensor is now working at the wrist level, that's why there is wrist drop. All the flexor muscles are now stronger than extensor. Okay, now if injury at the level of C. Okay, this is this question. You can see this is the this question. Radial nerve is injured at the cubital fossa or little above the cubital fossa. Here you can see, if the radial nerve is injured at C level, yes, at the C level, either it is little above the lateral epicondyle, or it is at the lateral epicondyle, or at the cubital fossa, at this portion, then what happens to this case scenario? Now radial nerve is injured at this level, here at this level. Distal to this injured area, everything is gone, but proximal to this injured area, everything remains spared. Every muscles are not paralyzed proximal to this injured area. So extensor carpi radialis longus, it's working. Okay, triceps working. Anconius is also working. Lateral head of the triceps also working. Okay, extensor carpi radialis longus is also working, but other extensor, these are paralyzed, they are not working, and simultaneously your superficial branch is also gone. Okay, so what is this? In this case, what happens? Okay, there is the first elbow. What happens at the elbow joint? Yes, elbow joint, there is extension. Why? Because the triceps, anconius, these all muscles are not paralyzed now. Now what happens to your wrist joint, and what happens to your MCP joint level? At the wrist joint level, what happens? Your extensor carpi radialis longus is now not paralyzed. You can see here, extensor carpi radialis longus is not paralyzed now. Okay, because injury at this level, you can see injury at this level. Okay, so distal to the injured area, radial nerve distal to the injured area is gone, but proximal to the injured area remains intact. Okay, so extensor carpi radialis longus is not working now, is working now, but other extensor like extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor carpi ulnaris, they are not working now. So there is a weak extension at the wrist joint due to extensor carpi radialis longus, and extensor carpi radialis brevis is not working, extensor carpi ulnaris is also not working. Okay, and what happens to MCP joint? ED muscles is also paralyzed here. So MCP joint, there is no extension. Okay, MCP joint, there is no extension. So during the beginning of this discussion, I told that it is not necessary for the radial nerve injury that wrist joint is present or may not be present. Wrist joint extension, it may be present, may not be present. Okay, So wrist joint extension or wrist drop. Okay, wrist drop, actually the wrist drop is not the defining feature of the radial nerve injury. Why? Because you can see at the C level injury or injury of the radial nerve at the lateral epicondyle level or your cubital fossa level, what happens at this level? No wrist drop. You can see no wrist drop, no wrist drop. And before these two level you can see the no wrist, that means your wrist drop. There is also wrist drop. What is wrist drop? You can see this picture here. Yes, this is your wrist drop. This is your wrist drop. Wrist drop, that means your wrist is flexed. Your wrist is flexed because your extensor muscles are weak now due to radial nerve injury. This is your wrist drop. Okay, and you can see this picture also. This is your Saturday night palsy. This is Saturday night palsy. This is case number B, radial nerve injury at the mid shaft of the humerus. Mid shaft of humerus. This is the Saturday night palsy case. So this is about the case C. Now let's discuss about the case D. What happens to elbow? What happens to the wrist joint and your MCP joint? Case D, this is your most inferior level radial nerve injury, okay, or radial nerve injured at the deep level. Posterior interosseous nerve, which is the deep branch of the radial nerve, which is also purely motor branch, it is injured now. Now if this is injured, then what happens? Now if this is injured, radial nerve is injured at this level, then what happens? The proximal portion of the radial nerve, proximal to injury, remains intact and distal to injury are not working. Okay, so then what happens now? Elbow, yes, there is extension. Wrist joint, yes, there is also extension. Because why? Extensor carpi radialis longus is active but weak extension, weak extension. So there is no wrist drop. Weak extension. Why? Because only one muscle is now spared. And you can see what happens to MCP joint? No extension also in this case, because ED muscle is not working now. ED muscle is not working now. Okay, so this is about the radial nerve injury at various level and its clinical. Now one thing which I want to add here, only in the case of D there is only motor nerve injury and no cutaneous branch injury, but A, B, C, in all three cases there is both motor nerve injury and cutaneous nerve injury occur. Okay, so I am writing A, B, C, both motor nerve of the motor component of the radial nerve, motor nerve injury, and also cutaneous or sensory nerve injury. But in case of D there is only what? In case of D only motor nerve injury, motor nerve injury. This is the deep branch of the radial nerve, posterior interosseous nerve is injured here, no sensory loss. All right, so this is all about the explanation. So let's revise once again the injury of the radial nerve through this diagram. At higher level radial nerve injury, axilla, this is due to crutch palsy. This is crutch palsy, called crutch palsy. B, at B level injury at the spiral group of the humerus, this is called your Saturday night palsy. This is due to your Saturday night palsy. At the level of C, okay, either at the lateral epicondyle or little below the lateral epicondyle, that's your cubital fossa, radial nerve injury. And at the level of D, the deep branch of the radial nerve is injured. What happens to crutch palsy? Elbow joint, there is no extension. Why? Because everything is gone. Okay, injury at this level, everything is gone. Distal to this injured portion, everything is gone. That's why no extension at the elbow, no extension at the wrist joint, no extension at the finger joint, means MCP joint. Okay, and not about the interphalangeal joint. Why? Because interphalangeal joint, this is also control the muscles, the lumbricals and interossei. These are also controlling the movement of the interphalangeal joint. Okay, which is also supplied by medial nerve, ulnar nerve. So if radial nerve is not supplying, then medial nerve, ulnar nerve is supplying. That's why no question of this joint. Okay, now injury at the B, Saturday night pulse. You can see what B, if injury at the level of B, then the area or the radial nerve proximal to this B is working and distal to this B not working. So proximal to this B, A is supplying the long head of the triceps, anconeus may and may not be working. Okay, so weak elbow extension due to triceps. So there is weak elbow extension due to what? Triceps. And what happens to the wrist joint? No extension. Why? Because this muscle is not working, extensor carpi radialis longus is not working, and also other extensor muscles are also not working. Okay, what happens at the level of C injury? That means the lateral epicondyle level or the cubital fossa just little below the C, just little below the lateral epicondyle. Extension of the elbow joint is normal due to triceps injury at the C. And not only triceps, also other muscles, but other extensors are not working. Your extensor carpi radialis longus is, in this case, now it is paired. Okay, it is not paralyzed. In this case it is working, but other extensors, they are not working. So weak extension at the wrist joint due to weak extensor at the wrist joint due to extensor carpi radialis longus. And what happens to the MCP joint? MCP joint is not showing the extension movement due to extensor digitum, ED muscles is not working. Extensor digitum. Okay. Next, injury at the level of D, that means the deep branch posterior interossei nerve is injured. And what happens in this case? Proximal to the injured area, everything is paired. Distal to the injured area, nothing is working. So elbow extension, yes. Wrist extension, yes, but weak. Why? Because only one muscle, extensor carpi radialis longus, is now working. And MCP joint extension, no. Why? Because ED is not working. So elbow extension normal, wrist extension normal, and what happens? No extension at the MCP joint due to what? Due to ED paralysis. Okay, so this is about the radial nerve and its clinical. And you can see here ABC. What is ABC? ABC, A plus B plus C. In these three cases, ABC, in these three cases, you can see both motor branch and the motor loss and the sensory loss, because superficial cutaneous branch is also gone here. And only in case of D, you can see only motor loss, no sensory loss. Okay.